Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about managing screen time for children below 10 years of age. First of all, it all starts with you. I know it's really hard, but children are constantly watching and imitating exactly what their parents do. So, considering we've been having a phone in our hands for a very long time now and sort of got into a habitual way of using it, it's important to break away from it. You need to work through this and probably think of this as an investment you're making right now to secure a healthy future for your child. First, I'm going to be talking about children below 2 years of age. At this very young age, considering their brain is still developing and honestly hardly developed, it's important to delay the exposure as much as possible in order to minimize the damage. Take the example of junk food. Do you feed your child chips right at year 1? Do you give them chocolates and biscuits right when they start eating solids? No, right? So it's pretty much the same. So, as a preventive approach, ensure that you're delaying the exposure as much as possible and doing whatever it takes to get that. And for children below 2 years of age, limit the exposure to video calls only, especially because before 2 to 2.5 years of age, the brain doesn't have the capacity to transfer learning from 2D to 3D. So, if you're gonna start playing games or teach them rhymes or colors, shapes, whatever it is online, like on screen, they're actually not transferring the learning. So, the whole exercise is redundant. So, if your child is below 2 to 3 years of age and is still getting a hang of gadgets, what you could do is limit the exposure only to television and not give them phones or any other like tab, which means you're limiting the access. They don't yet know or will never know that they can probably watch the same thing on another gadget, which means when you go out like restaurants, you're waiting in queues and so on, you don't actually hand over the phone. In their head, TV time is only at home. Considering that 2 to 3 years is the time that they're majorly imitating parental behaviors and rely on modeling a lot to learn new behaviors, it's important that you limit your screen time as well, especially in front of them. For instance, avoid or delay responding to a notification that you might get, especially when you're interacting with them. So, when your eyes are going that side towards the phone, or suddenly you get distracted and they're still trying to engage with you, they clearly know. And this phenomena is called technoference, which is basically the reduced parental sensitivity towards the child. This in turn has some ill effects on the emotional development for the child, depending on how severe this is. And during their younger years, strangers and extended family members are always trying to get them to hold and things like that. So if they're luring your child with like a gadget or showing the screen light and things like that, I've seen that happen a lot. So make sure you clearly communicate that that's not encouraged. For children above 5 years of age, so once you've started exposing to gadget, make sure the videos that you choose to show are at least less than 10 minutes. You can also try and regulate the content they watch depending on the time of the day. So if they're going to watch a lot of high sound or flashy lights, quick changing scenes and things like that towards the end of the day, they are going to get flustered a bit when you turn off the television. The stimulation overloads the sensory capacity of the brain. So very often you will find that as soon as you switch off the TV, there is a little bit of emotion dysregulation that happens, and then you have to redirect the child to do something else and then calm them down a little bit. You particularly want to avoid this closer to bedtime. Very often I don't see parents doing this, but you can definitely critically think with the child. You can encourage the child to develop self-regulation when it comes to gadget use. So conversations like how it affects your brain health, or how it can be used in a healthy way, what are the things it can be used for, and what are the things that can be done in real time, what are the pros and cons, these kind of conversations with children above 5 years should definitely be encouraged. So definitely having a restriction on the number of hours in a day, which is recommended to be less than 2 hours according to WHO and American Psychological Association and a whole lot of global organization, really helps, because the damage on the brain is supposed to be reduced with lesser amount of exposure. Lastly, whether it's 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, it doesn't matter. when it comes to choosing an activity which is available in a screen free manner. So, whether it's reading a book or playing Ludo, Sudoku, whatever it is, chess, and so on, always introduce a screen free way of doing it first. Which means you read books, you play the game in front of them as a physical board, instead of exposing them to phone games. So, just want to leave you with a few last words. Considering parenting in itself is really, really hard, I just want to remind you that you should try and keep your cool as much as possible while trying to regulate your child's screen time. Just remember that they're not doing anything intentionally. It's either learned because of their environment, or it's just how much they can think at that given age. So that and it's also about facilitating a healthy balance between screen free time and screen time. So make sure that your goal is to sort of nurture that versus trying to completely avoid screen time or control it entirely. So it's impossible to escape screen devices around us today. So my only suggestion to you would be to try and model appropriate behavior as much as possible, and also help them to develop a healthy balance.